Here we're looking at our stormwater capture and reuse project. Back in the early 20s, North Shore Country Club had their pump house just on the back side of this berm here with their own water tower and a deep well that was down 2,200 feet in the Mount Simons aquifer. That's the deepest aquifer here, and it would generate about 500 gallons a minute. And this underground vault here was developed when they put the irrigation system in just prior to hosting the US Open in '33. So when we divorced ourselves from the old system and regenerated a new well that was down in the Galesville aquifer, about 1,500 feet, that doesn't have the sodium issues that the Mount Simon aquifer had, we took down the pump house and planted those trees there and the water tower. And the thought was to remove this vault. And I made a point not to. I thought that the zebra mussels that were invading the waters back then would be problematic in these small ponds, irrigation ponds, and fortunately that hasn't proven to be the case. I think they don't like that mucky bottom, but in any regard, what we did then, thinking that we would need a closed system perhaps someday, we are now using it to store rainwater. Last night we had about 2 inches of rain, and we'll take it right over to how we're getting this water and how it's being pumped in here. It's not an automatic system yet. We're working on automating this, but you can see this vault is very large and very capable of holding a lot of water. And fortunately, the plumbing that went across the golf course to our ponds that we use as a reservoir now to irrigate from is intact. So all we had to do was put a manual valve in there and make that connection, and then the water that's stored in this tank is gravity fed to the ponds. So we'll take it right over to the storm sewer now. So this is the manual valve here, the gate valve that we installed, that we ran a line over to that vault, and when we want to feed the ponds the storm water, we just simply open this valve and it gravity feeds in this direction over to the ponds. As we did this, we added another connection here so we can have an emergency hookup if we had to, if we were to lose our well for whatever reason, and purchase village water by putting a meter on this fire hydrant there that you can see just on the other side of the fence there, that yellow fire hydrant, and we can make an emergency connection over to this line here, and again feed the ponds that we use as a reservoir to irrigate from. So we'll take it right over to the collection area. So last fall we installed this underground line through this area here. We did this all in-house, by the way, and we had some old irrigation line that we utilized and the gate valve even. So really this project cost us very, very little, using some leftover parts and our own labor. But you can see here, this is the white PVC line that's buried, that's connected to this trash pump that's pulling from our stormwater. So you can see there's multiple lines going into this manhole that is really our main line that carries the stormwater from the golf course, and it continues through our wildflower areas here. So all we had to really do was deepen the sump there in that manhole a couple feet below the outlet pipe, so the water has to sit there and build up to a higher level before it starts dumping out the exit line there that goes through the wildflowers here. And so that gives us a chance to drop that trash pump suction line in that sump and extract the water out and fill our underground vault with storm water. So this is the line that runs through the golf course over to the underground storage vault that you can see back in the horizon there. And right now it just gravity feeds back into the ponds here that we use as a reservoir, and when we irrigate at night, then we pull from this water here and irrigate from this pond. So it works out wonderful. Our new well is located around those shrubs there that we planted as a buffer zone for some wellhead protection, and then that pushes the water through this pipe here that we have out of the water as an air gap to make sure we don't have any backflow issues, and it actually helps to aerate the water too as it cascades down and enters the pond. And then inside the shrubbery here is our new pump house. So we kind of relocated all of our watering in this area here, with the exception of our stormwater storage facility that we just saw. But we'll take a peek here and I'll show you the wellhead that goes down 1,500 feet deep. Again, it's all protected with shrubbery here, so things can't be applied to it. But there it is right there. Nothing too fancy, but very important part of the golf course.